My name's Sally Anderson. I'm the Summerfruit New Zealand Research Manager. So the value of this understory project has been not only the collaboration and the engagement with the growers involved, but also being able to generate resources and information for the wider industry. So not everyone lives down here in Central Otago, so we've been able to generate information from the trials down here in Central Otago and be able to share that information wider with the sector. Growers learn by planting the understory how it works for them in their situation. And I think that's really important because what we've found is that every orchard is different and there's no one recipe that fits all. It's bespoke. It might sound simple, but it's quite complicated and each grower needs to understand how it works in their situation.
I'm Jered Tate, I'm from Fairview Orchard in Roxburgh. Engaged with the Lighter Touch program in 2022. Planted our first crop in March 2023. The biggest learning that I got and a lot of benefit I got from it was that with the increase in organic matter that we ended up getting in that space. It wasn't what we set out to try and get at the start, but it was one of the learnings that we got, and I was super stoked about that. Once we got it planted, it took less work. You know, there was a lot less inputs in terms of like we didn't have to mow it. There was no weed spraying in that space. So there was savings in terms of time. We had no negative ramifications from the process. It did bring in more biodiversity. None of that negatively impacted on what we were doing. The key sort of difficulty, I suppose, that we faced was just access to the trees with our ladders when it was coming time to harvest. If we had the potential to, or the funding moreover, to continue to do this, I'd be quite excited to work that soil up again, to start the process over.
My name's Georgie Affleck and I am an orchard owner here in Central Otago, and we've been part of the understory study. The opportunity to do this, to meet the team and have people enthusiastic about the horticulture industry. It just improves your soil and tree health and the worm count going up on our orchard from having none to having plenty. It's great to see the difference. You've got a clear comparison from sample to the experiment.
My name is Craig Affleck. I'm an orchard owner here in Central Otago. It's been a very pleasant environment to work in. It's a lot more cooler, smells nice with all the different herbs and stuff they put in amongst it. I don't need to mow as much across the whole orchard. Even out of the experiment we've reduced our mowing, which has reduced all the workload. So
we've got a sprinkler system in our orchard, and a lot of the plants have grown up quite close to the sprinklers and quite high. So then the water is not getting out, obviously, to our trees. So we've had to stomp down or do some weed management around those sprinklers so that the water still reaches the trees.
But the time that's saved from mowing and spraying has been worth it.
So my name is Euan. I am the Operations Manager here at Forest Lodge Orchard. We have been a trial of orchard for the project for the last 2 years, and I've been here since day one. The main benefits for us is the lack of mowing I needed to do, so not having to mow it every few weeks like the rest of the orchard. So my orchard has some very stony patches, so if we can increase the amount of things growing that are helpful to the soil, that has to be a good thing for my trees. But also increasing the number of insects in the orchard at the same time, potentially reduce insecticides. This is a really easy win. The second stage of our frost fighting mitigation after our wind machines is to cover the ground in water using our micro sprinklers. They operate about 20 centimetres from the ground, so whatever we grow on the ground has to be underneath the sprinklers so as not to inhibit the water spread. Once we figured out how to do that with line trimmers, it wasn't a challenge at all. Spreading seed out in your orchard, turning the unproductive land into something that helps your trees and helps your orchard, helps your soil, is an absolute no-brainer. So we plan to add seed into our fertiliser mix that we're going to be spreading in a couple of months during winter to cover the entire orchard, and a seed mix based on what is already growing, and that will keep low, keep the ground covered, and increase the amount of beneficial insects in our orchard.
With the Lighter Touch and the agroecological approaches, we've been able to lean into that program and say, look, we want to give this a try. The Lighter Touch has helped us pull this project together and assisted with the coordination of the program, and also bring other stakeholders on board as well. The purpose of this day is really around extension and engagement. The wrap-up has been the production of the grower case studies for each of these orchards that we've looked at today, but we've also wanted to bring other industry people from around this region into these orchards, hear from the orchardists themselves and understand what their experience has been. The highlight for me, I think, is the enthusiasm of the growers that have been involved and just understanding their journey through this understory project, and the fact that a lot of them are really enthusiastic, have retained that enthusiasm and are willing to give it a go and continue on with their journey.